not dead. She's only gone. She's only gone on into a brighter, more wonderful dawn. For women like her were not born to die, but like the sun that shines in the sky, they warm the earth and the hearts of men, and in happy remembrance they live again. And so, while she sleeps and her voice is still, her spirit goes on, and it always will. Unquote. We, that is her loved ones, relatives and friends, echo the words and thoughts of the paraphrased inspirational poem by Helen Steiner Rice entitled, Is Only God Gone? Indeed, each of us is a traveler, a pilgrim through this world. As we journey onward, some people leave no ripples to mark their coming and their going. Some people leave footprints, and a few leave their marks, touching lives with their kindness, goodness, helpfulness, encouragement, and generosity in thought, word, and deed, so much so that their living creates a void that somehow makes us painfully aware of how much they loved, cared, and served us, and how much we did them still. This is Onissima Manipon Bugnosen Ness, as is better known and called. Everything considered, Mariness is one of the more fortunate persons in that she had, by God's grace, a full life. For the Bible says that after age 70, the years thereafter are bonus years. And Mariness had nearly 14 years, an extra gift from God, for which we thank and praise Him for the added years that enabled Mariness, as stated in the famous prayer of the Jabez, to spend enlarging her borders for God, giving herself not only to her immediate family and folks, but to others too in the wider community. In return, God has blessed her with a Christian helpmate and soulmate, Jimmy. A good marriage, supplementing, implementing, supporting each other's projects and undertakings in the Lord's vineyard. He in the public sector as city mayor of Baguio, and a week ago, one of this year's 6 outstanding citizens of Baguio, and she in the private sector. Added to that, excellent parenting and grandparenting with successful, supportive, caring, loving children with happy family lives. As I look in remembrance, one thing that Mariness has struck me through the years, nay decades, is how much she loves her children and their spouses and grandchildren and great-grandchild, as well as her siblings and their families. In a way of speaking, she has built a great part of her life around and for them, which her children and folks in turn have reciprocated in no small measure. The feminine in Mariness went for fashionable clothes and high-heeled shoes. And so, she was always a well-dressed and well-groomed, made-up woman. Even in her remaining days at the hospital, she was very particular about the fixing of her face. As a friend, Mariness had many moments of thoughtfulness and caring. She helps when she can, and her spirit of care and concern, as evidenced by her many social-civic involvement, characterized by servanthood and leadership and servanthood. The Red Cross, the Federation of Women's Club, the Girl Scouts of the Philippines in Baguio, Ibalikatan sa kaunlaran, Baguio City Council, the Sir Optimist, the SOCOM, or Society of Outstanding Citizens of Baguio, the YWCA, and the like, that cater to the victims of natural calamities and fortuitous events, victims of man's inhumanity to man, victims of their own individual bondages, weaknesses, and addictions, the underprivileged, the disadvantaged, the little children of whom the kingdom of heaven is made, and the elderly or retired, the dying, the bereaved, on the national, regional, city, and barangay levels. And where she is involved, she really truly gives her all. Indeed, she has many stars on her crown. After the joy and privilege of being ninang in marriage to 3 of their children, and sponsor witness in their silver, golden, and this summer's 65th wedding anniversary, I had the special opportunity of visiting her almost daily during her hospitalization, in togetherness characterized by my reciting Bible verses, singing with my bad voice a few hymns, and praying more often than not, we holding hands whenever possible. During these visitations, she listened intently and joined in her mind, although she could not verbalize or articulate. We were also classmates in an interdenominational 1:30 Wednesday afternoon Bible study and fellowship at Cottage G in City Camp. And towards the end, one could feel her deeper faith and stronger trust in God and His power, mercy, and compassion. In the meanwhile, to Cottage and their children and their families and their folks, and to her co-workers in people-making and nation-building and her friends, may your tender memories soften your and our grief. Our fond recollections bring relief. May you find comfort in the thought that time and space can never divide nor erase the happy moments, the happy hours that belong only to you. For as long as you love and remember, she will live in your hearts, for love can never lose its own. So she lies here still and we mourn, but knowing her warm and thoughtful ways, she would probably not want us to grieve so, although of course we cannot help otherwise. Truly, a good and helping Christian woman, a great and caring wife and mother to her family and folks, and a conscientious fellow worker in people-making and nation-building lies before us. Her hands already cold, her lips silent, for they do not and will no longer respond to us anymore. Only the sweet memories of a life well lived comfort us at this time as we launch her to another journey, which someday we too will venture forth ourselves. May God go and be with her. Now, may I share with you a poem entitled, Somewhere There Is No Parking. Somewhere there is no sunset. Somewhere it's always dawn. Somewhere no clouds obscure the view. Somewhere black shadows gone. Somewhere there is no parting, no sorrow, tears, or pain. And there your loved one waits the day when you shall meet again. I cannot say, and I will not say, that she is dead. She is just away, with a cheery smile and a wave of the hand. She has wandered into an unknown land, and left us grieving how very fair it needs must be, since she lingers there. And you, oh you, who the wildest yearn for the old time step and the glad return, think with her faring on, as dear in the love of there and in the love of here. Think of her still, as the same I say, she is not dead.